Now, Democratic Senator from Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar. What are you hearing, Senator, from your colleagues about tomorrow's vote and the chances of reaching a deal?
Well, I thought it was very interesting, Anderson, that the president actually admitted that Republicans are being held responsible for this shutdown. We've seen it. You saw it in the election vote on Tuesday night in states like Mississippi and Georgia, not just in those major races in Virginia and New Jersey. And I think what the public wants is they want him to focus on bringing costs down. And what we would like to see out of this is the president to come to the table. No budget impasse, no shutdown has ever been resolved without a president being part of the negotiations. And we need him there. He is the master, he says, of the art of the deal. It's time for him to come to the table. And besides that, we'd love to pay the air traffic controllers, and we have a bill to pay federal employees, but the House has been on an extended vacation for 7 weeks, so they're not even here to do their part and vote for it. So it is time for him to call the House back and to come to the negotiating table. I would hope tomorrow, this weekend, our leaders have asked for that to happen, and clearly it's time for it to happen.
St. Paul International Airport is among the 40 airports nationwide, as you know, that's going to be forced to reduce flights by the Trump administration due to the shutdown. How much do you expect the cuts to impact your state?
Well, I imagine they're going to be impacting every state, but in the end, the president runs the White House, his party runs the Senate, and his party runs the House. And it is, again, what we are focused on is affordability, not just with his tariffs and groceries, which have gone up outrageously, but also with healthcare premiums. Literally 1 year of these healthcare premiums that are set to double, that people are starting to see are doubling, is basically the same amount of money as he doled out to Argentina. Right? That was $20 billion. This is just a little more than that. So the thought that he won't even come to the table to talk about helping people afford their health care, but he's willing to send $20 billion to Argentina or build a beautiful bathroom that he puts pictures up in the next to the Lincoln Ben room with marble that most Americans will never even get to see, or build a ballroom, or go off and jet around the world when he won't even come down to Capitol Hill to the negotiating table, is something that I believe Tuesday night the people of this country held him responsible for that.
The second longest shutdown, which was in 2019 during Trump's first term, actually ended after air traffic control shortages led to air travel issues. Do you think this could be something that breaks a logjam?
There are many things going on right now, including the administration's decision to refuse to pay food nutrition benefits. A court just ordered them again and said that minute by minute, they're inflicting harm on Americans. And they're doing everything in their power to anything except coming to the negotiating table. And I don't know how much clearer we need to make this. None of this can happen until he calls the House back, until we get a negotiation going. And everyone wants flights to go on time. Everyone wants our government to function. But he has been firing people. He's been terminating people. People have been taking early retirements all across the government, causing problems with Social Security, VA. And the people are tired of the chaos. They're tired of the corruption. And mostly, they're tired of the costs.
Yeah. Senator Klobuchar, thank you.
Great to be on, Anderson.
The fight among